brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom. You have the highest paid kicker in the NFL. Some of you are happy and some of you ain't. We're going to talk about that. It's getting hot out in St. Joe, and some guys are not happy with the way things are going. There's a spy in camp, I got to tell you, and we're going to get down to all of your questions tonight on RGR Football. Welcome in. Let's get after it. Mr. Dan Harms, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. You know, it's funny. I just realized that my daughter starts school in 2 weeks. So everything is just like gotten scrunched into a whole little, like I thought I had more time for her to do stuff and go maybe visit the in-laws and stuff like that. But no, we don't get to do any of that. We get to go right into school, and training camp, unfortunately, will be missed this year. There's just a bunch of stuff that I didn't get to do that I wanted to do in August, but I'm doing good no matter what.
I'm glad to hear it, folks. Hope that you're doing well. This is Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. Welcome to RGR Football. The big news this afternoon, if you caught my little clip at the end of the workday, Harrison Butker now getting 4 more years at 25.6 for an average of $6.4 million a year. Highest paid kicker in the NFL, and I've heard about it from everybody. People on the positive side, people on the negative side, people like all fired up that how is he the first one to get done? I will tell you, he's the first one to get done because he's the first one who said yes to what they offered him. That's the only reason. I don't see this as a prioritization at all, Dan. Do you?
No, it's also the cheapest. It's $2.25 million a year. It's the cheapest contract. It was the easiest to get done for them. It was not hard to make him the highest paid kicker in NFL history because the previous was Justin Tucker at $6 million a year. Like, so we're here talking about this early August because, well, to be honest with you, it was the easiest for them to get done. And like you said, it wasn't going to take much more than what Tucker made to get Harrison Butker to sign on the dotted line. It really wasn't. So it makes perfect sense why he was the first one to go, considering that the other positions are a little bit more intricate than a kicker contract.
Yeah, there is that. Folks, we're brought to you tonight. We are sponsored officially by BetUS. Want to welcome them to the RGR family. Check them out. We're going to tell you more about them later, but the link is down below. If you want to get in on the action, you can do that now. Our shout out to Minotaur, as always, for giving away free memberships. He is the ambassador of, what is it, Quan? Yes, I'm going back to that movie. I'm very happy for you. Minotaur, we appreciate you very much, folks. If you get one of these free memberships, you get all the bonuses in here, in the super chats, in the icons, all that stuff here in the chat, and you can upgrade into the rookie level and above, and you can get all the inside access. I put out a short piece of film analysis last week. I'm going to do another one this week, and I'm just doing those clips for the members because of, somebody else has been nice enough to gift them to me, so I don't have to worry about, stealing somebody's stuff. You'll notice a lot of clips are stolen these days. I'm trying to be respectful of people that are shooting these from taking the time to go to camp. So we want to do that. We're going to get after the questions here shortly. And just want to say thanks to Minotaur for spreading the love. We always appreciate you, dude. And if you want on the show tonight, all the super chats get an answer no matter what. We always take care of you guys. And we're going to get to that starting now with the first guy in the door every night is Micah. Hey, it's nice to see you, Micah. And I'm going to ask you, given they just gave Butker all this money, and they said a couple of days ago, hey, he's probably going to handle all the kickoffs for us. What do you think of the new kickoffs? And what do you think of his idea here? Just do a regular punt from the 30 or 40. Blocks, fakes, and fair catches are still an option. Fakes have to be treated like a 4th and 15.
Well,
I haven't seen that ritual. You're going to have to explain it to me.
I mean, I've seen people want to throw in, if you want to go for like an onside or things like that, you have to be, it's like 4th and 15, 4th and 20, things like that. If you convert it, cool. You get the ball. Whatever. Honestly, I'll be honest. I don't care so much. And when we watched I'll go ahead and quote it. Watched the Hall of Fame game on Thursday. We're not going to get a good idea of how these kicks are going to turn out. Right? We're not going to get a good idea, not until the real season is here. And it's not even just because the special teams coordinators are holding stuff back. It's because they want to see what all these players are going to do. You have a bunch of players trying to make rosters. guess what? If you have a backup kick returner going out there that actually just takes the ball and gets some yards for you, cool. You're able to do that. You want to evaluate these players without making it too difficult on them to remember, oh, you have to trick here. You have to go this way. You have to reverse it this way. And they're mostly backups. We're not going to get another good idea until we get the starters out there and you actually see what it's supposed to look like. So all of that is just kind of fermenting for all of us. We're waiting to see what it's going to really look like. But I'm excited because I know that Tobe's got some stuff up his sleeve. And the thing for me is you can always, Butker can sky kick. He can hang it up there like a punter off the tee, things like that. So you're probably going to see a good amount of hanging kicks from Harrison Butker because, one, that's going to allow your kick team to go and cover the kick, right? It's going to be about getting the distance right. If you guys have played NCAA 25, if you've played Madden, whatever that stuff is, you always sky kick. Like if you get a roughing the kicker penalty on an extra point and you accept it, and then you just sky kick it. So they have to get the ball inside the 5-yard line, and then all your kick coverage team is right there. It'll allow them more time to do it. So all of that stuff is going to be sorted out. I'm very interested to see it, but I do like the onside being turned into like a 4th and 15, 4th and 20 opportunity.
Yeah, I kind of dig that as well. Like, let's get a little creative and let's make it a play again that matters to the ball game instead of just like, oh, I'm gonna run to the head or get a beer in the meantime, and I'm not missing nothing, right? Like now it's like got to watch every single time, and I do like that. Guys, shout out, welcome into the chat. A lot of friendly faces. Alex, Caroline's in here. Caroline, I need to talk to you this week. I got a new idea for you. We got a couple of things going on, and I just want to come around. Minotaur again. Thought the kicking team couldn't move until it was touched.
You're right.
Yes,
they cannot move, and nobody can move until the kick has been kicked. Nobody can.
But they're already, 15 or 20 yards down the field, right? If I remember the lineups. So it's like the hang time is king, no matter what, because they're already closer. It's going to be a free-for-all. I'm looking forward to it. Michael with another question. If Trey Smith gets extended, what is the future of Joe Thuney? And I want to say this as kindly as I can. If that happens, the future of Joe Thuney is a pat on the back, a gold watch, and maybe another Super Bowl ring. Thank you for your service, Joe. We will miss you, but they can't afford both. Joe's got like a $26 million cap hit next year. It just ain't happening.
It's not possible. There's not enough money with Patrick Mahomes, with everyone else you got to pay, and still extend on top of paying Harrison Butker the most money that a kicker has ever made in the NFL, ever. So it's thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Love you, man. Thanks, buddy. I mean, right now he is sitting at 26.97, number 2 on this roster in terms of this year's cap number to only Patrick Mahomes. That tells you. And let me check real quick. I want to say he's 32. He is 32. He'll be 33.
You're right. I was completely wrong, Napoleon. You're right here. I for whatever reason, I thought that I was saying that, but I wasn't. So you're right. Hang time doesn't matter. My bad. New rules. We all make mistakes.
Okay. Well, I clearly am all over the place because I thought I knew it twice now tonight, and I didn't. So,
it's my fault.
You know
I said it, and you were just like, "Yeah, he's right. He knows what he's talking about." And yeah, no, I didn't. I absolutely didn't.
Joe is, for the record, 32 now, would be 33 next season. They save 16 million against the cap next year. It's just hard to see for Trey returning. And Siri, I don't need your help right now. Thank you. Steve, nice to see you, buddy. With only one cut down this year, the NFL teams will be able to hide their younger talent on the rosters better than past seasons. I mean, they are, but every team has player personnel departments. It's not just the coordinator anymore. They have departments that are running down every preseason game for every team and saying, we'd like this guy, this guy fits for us. And on cutdown day, they have 24 hours to put those claims in. They will put claims in. It may be a point where it's probably worse for the competition trying to pick them up, but you're still just as likely, if not more likely, to lose somebody, in my opinion.
Yeah. Far more teams are going to put them in because they only have one waiver period.
I think Dan agrees, though.
So. I'm not muted.
It's tough when everybody gets a bite at your apple when you've said, hey, we're going to move on from this guy. It's tough to squeeze him through every year, let alone anything else.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm still here.
I'm not getting you, but crowd, if you guys can hear Dan, let us know because I'm not getting it.
Yeah, they can hear me.
I'm just
So I
gonna
don't
keep
know
on
what's going on.
Just in case it's you. Steve had another one. Did the Chiefs make a mistake in not signing Dobbs earlier in the offseason? It would have been interesting, but I can't say it's a mistake. I mean, let's be honest. The guy I don't think he's ever finished a football season yet. So I'm not too terribly concerned. Anything?
So
there we go.
All right. So you had me muted on your side. I don't know. People can hear me.
That works.
No
okay,
idea.
Cool.
But yeah, I would personally have liked to see them bring Dobbins in, but you're right. It's hard to want to have him in when he's been hurt every single year. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh is far more comfortable just bringing both Baltimore running backs over because he's got the Baltimore Ravens ex offensive coordinator. So yeah, why not bring him in? He loves continuity, so no problem there.
So I am glitching too. Thank you, Cody. That must have been on my side, Dan. I am in the middle of a thunderstorm, so apologies, everybody. You know how it goes for me. I have thin atmosphere up here, so you never know what's going to happen. It's going to be my story, and I'm sticking to it. So Micah, back to Devin Hester. He went in the Hall of Fame. Will NFL teams ever play CBs like Hester, Woodson, Bailey, and Carter again? Could Travis Hunter do it in the NFL next year? Man, that's tough. I think it's a possibility, but I have a hard time seeing him play both ways. Do you?
You won't play both ways. It's irresponsible, to be very honest with you. It's two different times for a person to get hurt. It's more wear and tear on the body. It's joints, knees. It's too much. The fact that he plays both ways in college is nuts, to be very honest with you. But NFL teams are not going to let him do that. So he's going to have to decide what position he wants to play as. And considering the money that just got laid down for these wide receivers, something tells me he's probably going to select to be a wide receiver in the NFL.
You don't say. What an idea. We're going to hit our first super chat. Thank you, Carson. Appreciate your support. Went and got my fitting at PXG, and I was beyond impressed. Thanks for mentioning them. Thanks for checking them out. We appreciate that. You're sold on them, are you not?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I actually just went back. I was in the neighborhood. I popped back over there on Saturday just to hit driver a little bit, and I love it. They're having like a clothing sale right now. I got myself a new shirt, a glove, some other stuff too. Like nice. I'm all in, guys, and I'm not very good, so that should tell you how I feel about it. And we're just trying to get better. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Carson. It was one of the best experiences in that kind of environment that I've ever had.
Yeah, I had a great time too, and I am absolutely dog trash. I got a couple of friends that use some of their clubs, and they've been trying to coach me up. One of them even got me a lesson, and I haven't been able to take the lesson yet, so I'm hoping that will get me into it. But PXG's hooked us up, and Carson, I'm glad they hooked you up too. Thanks for letting us know that you enjoyed it. We appreciate you and the support tonight, as always. I skipped Alex. I didn't mean to do that. Why is John Gruden in the Chiefs gear at camp? Is he joining the staff? The bloggers are going to tell you he's joining the staff. I've seen 4 reports already that he's on the staff. Andy said today, hey, he's my buddy. I've known him 30 years. He's hanging out, and I appreciate his eye and his insight. If he's here after the first preseason game, then maybe they're thinking about some kind of more permanent role, like Brad Childress had, where he was like head assistant of strategy or something or other. Bottom line is, Andy and him came up coaching Favre. He's not going to turn John Gruden away no matter what kind of crap he steps in his personal life, right? So he trusts his eye. He trusts his knowledge of the game. I think it's just like, hey, check out what we're doing. See if you see anything, and maybe it'll be some insight. Do you see something more there?
Hell if I know, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how far their relationship goes with all that stuff, but I know that what John Gruden did in the NFL and the emails and stuff that he sent, I would not want any part of him at all. Period. End of story. But for Andy Reid, who knows him personally, I bet it's a little bit different situation. And I would imagine, if anything, it would be like an offensive consultant that we're talking about, things like that. Him being in Chiefs gear is more about him being there and just showing everyone, and probably Andy saying, hey, why don't we mess with everyone and you wear this Chiefs gear and let everyone think that you're part of the staff, but you're really not. You're just here to hang out and have a good time. I can absolutely see Andy redoing that.
Well, honestly, I had a different conspiracy theory. I think there are fan bases, no offense to any particular team that isn't the Kansas City Chiefs, but I think there are fan bases that go to training camp, and if he's decked out in their team gear, there's possibility that several teams around the league would never even notice he was there. So I think it was kind of a camouflage situation given everything, and maybe he's just trying to hang out and they weren't trying to make a big deal out of it, and he got spotted because our fans are awesome and they know stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of where I went. But
I feel it.
Chris,
yeah,
nice to see you. Appreciate you. Who gets paid next versus who do you want to see get paid next, Dan?
This one, again, might be more of a lesser money equals out, and it might be Nick Bolton being the next guy that gets paid versus the guy that I want to see get paid being Creed Humphrey. And that is just one of those scenarios, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was Creed next, because, again, center market is different than the guard market. So I could see both Nick Bolton and Creed Humphrey getting paid first. I would want Creed first.
Okay, I'm with you. Sorry, I'm having a little monitor trouble too. Everything's breaking down out here, folks. It's been 100 degrees, and the storm rate came through, and I think it's 62. I'm looking at my temperature gauge outside, so hell is freezing over as we speak. So enjoy it. Other than that, we're doing just fine. Thanks, Chris. Info, nice to see you, buddy. Has Fabian Lovett shown enough to pass Farrell and Dickerson on the depth chart? I've spoken to multiple people. I have not been to camp yet. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to make it or not. From what I understand, he's shown a couple pops, but he's not getting consistent reps with the twos. And Farrell is actually working on rotating at the top of the twos list, as I understand.
Interesting. That's unfortunate. I haven't heard Matt Dickerson's name in the slightest, so I would imagine he might be on there over Dickerson. But like Ryan said, we haven't been able to get to camp. There's been lots of problems. Chiefs once again have denied our pleas to be credentialed for them. So we're just trying to work with what we got here. And if, granted, with the way things are breaking right now, maybe Avery and I will be at camp at the end of this week. It's a possibility, but I'm not entirely sure what's going on yet. But I've heard Fabian Lovett's name get talked about more than Farrell and Dickerson, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be the guy, like we think. I still think he's going to make the roster, though.
Yeah, I'm squared away on that. And Brad, if you're listening, come on, man.
Come on, Brad. Help us out.
I'll just show up for a game or two. We got to work this out. Daniel, nice to see you, buddy. Welcome to the fam.
Come on, Daniel.
We're just going to call out names at this point, folks. I got nothing to lose. It's only been 8 years on this beat, so what the hell?
We know you're watching.
Yeah. Hello out there. I know you guys over in the offices. Nice to see you. Caroline, nice to see you back on the lives. Caroline's doing some cool stuff out there, folks. Everybody give her a hand. She's one of our regulars. And somebody that's going to be helping us out here from time to time. What two players on each side of the ball are you watching the most closely this weekend? Loving the content. Y'all rock. Thanks, lady. Appreciate it. And I want to know your two as well. But Dan, just where's your interest peaked right now?
It's still at defensive tackle. I still need to see something from the guys we were just really talking about and Lovett and Farrell. Somebody else. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Someone needs to step up at the defensive tackle spot. And honestly, the corners. We're probably not going to see a ton of Joshua Williams and Trent McDuffie, but Keith Taylor's getting reps at slot now with the first team when they go dime. we're seeing a lot of different guys get rotated in there. So the cornerback position is going to be a lot of fun. Jalen Watson made a play today, coming back very slowly from his injury. He looks to be getting back into his workout too. So there's a lot to watch. So for really the two positions, I'm going to be looking at defensive tackle and cornerback.
I like it. I like it a lot because I want to know. There's so much talent there, and I need to kind of sort out. Is there anybody there that I'm convinced is buried on the depth chart but still has value to somebody else in the league? Because I still feel like corner might be one of those position groups that can produce a trade that could pay off or something like another running back or something like that. Because as the running backs go forward, I want to see LRZ and see if he's made any progression in the backfield. Because what I saw earlier, he's not ready for prime time. He could still maybe be a kick returner. I know he's in the top 3 there. That's still a possibility. But I want to see something about how he navigates the backfield. Once he's past the line of scrimmage, I feel instinct will take over for that. It's navigating the backfield for me. So I want to see that. Carson's finally starting to get a little bit of run. Everybody was just teasing me because he's kind of a fullback type, but Andy likes him. He was running some blocking today. He's been giving him the ball a little bit. He's good enough to be the next sure Mike Burton kind of thing, I guarantee you, and have more upside as a runner. So I'm really interested to see if they let him have a little bit of time in the light this first preseason game.
He's going to be a guy that will get you 5 or get you 4 yards if you need 4 yards. And if you need 6 yards, he's going to get you 4 yards. Like, that's just what's going to happen.
I'm gonna go get his highlight reel for you because he can do more than that. I'm
talking about in the NFL. It's different. In the NFL, it's different than at UCLA.
I know. I just feel like he's got more than that. Just let me a fullback. Kevin, great to see Butker get paid. Remember our offensive woes last year. If he misses one kick, we're done. And that's fair. I mean, and I know everybody was like down on him on extra points of all things the season before. But like he came up with some clutch kicks. And that in the end, it's about producing when you need to produce. I have to admit, I'm right on the fence. It doesn't bother me. I don't know if I would have done it because putting somebody at the top of their position group in pay is not something that's on my list outside of like the star game changers. And Harrison's great, but he still has to be put into position to make those kicks, right? So if you don't have the other playmakers, he's not absolutely able to manufacture points for you.
No, but for everyone, he's the most specialized player. You have one job.
Yeah.
Okay. You have one job. And we see across the NFL, that one job, not easy for anybody just to go out there and do it. And I am fine paying for clutch. He has the clutch gene. He does. I got no problems watching the Chiefs pay up for the clutch gene. Okay, fine. It doesn't bother me because it's not too expensive. But at the end of the day, I know when he goes out there for a game-winning kick, I'm not worried about it. He's not worried about it. So I don't personally care that much about the money.
Fair enough. And when you look at the size of the jump, he bested Justin Tucker, who was number 1 by $400K a year. We're not talking the $3 million, $5 million leaps other positions are taking right now. So it is in reference like economical to itself. That makes a lot of sense. Thundarius, nice to see you back, buddy.
What's going on?
I owe you an email as well, and I'm sorry it's been so long, but I got an idea, so we're going to get together on that. I miss Monday night streams. Yeah, we do too. But hey, we're right here every Monday night. We're going to keep it going, and now we have something to really, really look at. I record vids for my channel on Monday, Wednesday now. Okay, gotcha. Had to stop by and show love. Nice to see you, buddy. I hope that you are doing well and your channel's taking off. Appreciate you and the support, bro. Jeremy, either less talent or less needing of them, do you think our defense take a step back this year? How are you feeling about it so far?
I think that at the end of the day, the system is what has produced the defense. And the fact of the matter is that Chris Jones is the biggest reason that your defense is elite. And then, yes, I know L'Jarius Sneed was awesome. He was great last year. And he didn't have to cover very long. You want to know why? Because Chris Jones was like hunting down the doorstep of every quarterback in the NFL saying, hey, what's up? Try to throw the ball in these first 2 seconds, where you can manufacture taking away timing. You can say, hey, Josh Williams, beat this guy up. Just go beat him up at the line of scrimmage. Make it so Chris Jones winning in that 2 seconds is enough for you. So I don't think that they're going to be like back to where they were 2 years ago. I still think they're going to be a top 10 defense in the NFL because you can manufacture around Chris Jones some of the things that they were still able to do last year. And you've got other players, young players, their second year in Spags defense. I think Shamari Connor is going to absolutely have a year. He's talked about he's getting back comfortable again in the nickel where he played in high school, played a little bit in college, but he was rotated all over the place in college. So him playing there more often this year is really going to unlock the defense a little bit, I think.
I have to agree completely. I'm looking forward to that too, because at the end of the day, he made some big plays last year and he was in good position. And he's a guy that thrives in that position when he's going to be on the field all the time. I am so here for that. I'm in. From previous shows, thank you, Steam and Demon. Appreciate it. You got me thinking Willie Beam. McCole is a lock for the 53 because he is a break glass if Worthy goes down. KT is on the 53, but I don't see him backing up Worthy, and that's fair. I think the problem is between the injury and the lack of anything that looks like professionalism. KT has no value around the league. I can't see you getting rid of him, and so then it's just a question of, is he dragging the room down? I think, Dan, you'd probably say yes. I honestly don't know, but that's the only reason to cut him at this point, because you can't save any money and nobody's going to give you nothing for him.
There was something that struck me last week. Clyde was talking about him when he came out about his PTSD, that there's two guys in the room that know when he's off. It's Kadarius Toney and Travis Kelce. Those are the two guys. The fact that his name was mentioned tells me that the Chiefs locker room likes Kadarius Toney. Regardless of how we feel about what he's done, there has been conversations, talks. There are players that respect and like Kadarius Toney for whatever that is, whatever you got, however you take that. That's what the fact of the matter is. So the team likes him. They are adamantly trying to get him involved in the offense. So I personally, at this point, think Kadarius Toney is a lock for the roster. I do not believe that McCole Hardman is a lock, because the only way, in my opinion, he could be a lock is if he was the punt returner. I think Nico Remigio is edging out everyone in that regard. And I also think that he could add some elements to the offense, break class in case of emergency stuff. So I don't think that McCole is a lock, but I do understand where the idea comes from because he knows the offense so well.
Yeah, and I'm going to be really intrigued by who gets how many snaps with who in this first preseason game, because I do think that will unlock some of the explanation we're all looking for, to tell you the truth. Now, we have a ton of your super chats coming. We're going to get to them all. I want to tell you about what we're doing this year and this preseason, our newest sponsor added to the family.
RGR Football is sponsored by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
And this is the deal. Fastest payouts in the industry. And right now you get 125% sign up bonus up to $2,000 right this minute. Chiefs are all over BetUS because they're right at the top of the list for both Super Bowl matchups. Whichever you think is the most likely opponent for the Chiefs, you can pick right now, as well as the Super Bowl odds that are the best currently as we speak. Mahomes for the MVP, the conference titles. You can get into all the action if you want to get over to BetUS. That's 125% deposit match on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 each. They have live wagering on all major games, the best betting variety in the business, and you can even get 10% back on your losses twice a year. Check it all out at our BetUS link in the description below. I'm super pumped about it. I hope you guys will check that out if you want to get into it. We are going to get into your questions as we roll on. Steven, appreciate you. And Donnie had a good one here too. Thanks for the support, buddy. Love the content as always. 2 questions. How big of an upgrade is Areza? And Shamari Connor, can he make the Pro Bowl? That's a great question. Areza, Tommy was a great punter, and Areza's booming in camp. How big of an upgrade do you think it actually can be, though?
So one of the bigger problems that I always had with Tommy, even though he was very good at what he did, he just boomed kicks, is that his directionality wasn't very good. He could not get the ball to the sideline to save his life. He just kicked it downfield and said, hey, Gunners, you go get this guy. I believe that Ariza can actually aim the ball to the sideline. That's what he was doing coming out of college. He was able to move the football and actually pin teams inside by making it go out of bounds. You know, that coffin corner stuff we always used to do in Madden with the drills and stuff like that. He can do some of that. So while the upgrade punter wise, when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes on the team, doesn't give you a lot in terms of like added wins or things like that, it will help field position, in my opinion.
I agree with you, and that makes a big difference on the small ends of each drive. It makes life harder for the opponent. That's W's right there. Thanks, Donnie. Good to see you, buddy, as always. Info, nice to see you. Follow up to the Thuney question. I appreciate that. What would the trade value be starting the 25 season with 1 year left at 26 mil, assuming he is still playing at an elite level? I mean, that's the hard part. Not being back for what has been 7 months now, plus 8 months. Seeing him play at an elite level, I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith in. I think he'll still be, super, super good, but I think he's probably topping out around 90% of what he played last year. That's still got some value. It's the dollar sign. If he's willing to rework a contract to be under what Hunt get? 21 something a year?
No, I thought he got more than that.
Oh,
they paid Hunt a ton of money.
Sure. Okay. And that's what it is. It's like you just got to make yourself approachable compared to the rest of the league. And especially at 33 years old, which he'll be next off season, I think that's where it comes in. And so I do think that there's a possibility that there could be something there. I think out of respect for Joe, you probably bite the bullet and just release him so that he can do whatever he wants. And you're not holding him hostage at all. You know what I mean? But I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
You were right. It was 5 years, $100 million. So it was just more the big number. So he got $20 million a year average, but 63 million guaranteed, which was the big number, which is what I was thinking about. So so it's tough with the trading guys over 30 that are making 26 million a year. It's tough to do. He would have to rework his contract through an extension, and the team would have to be willing to take on 23, probably 24-ish million dollars for Joe Thuney in his age 20 or age 30 plus whatever year it is. So it'll be tough to trade him, especially when you're talking about a guy who's probably going to be playing closer to 85% of his elite level. And I'm just hoping that we can get him back serviceable this year, and when he's starting to round into form near the end of the season. That's all you really want.
I completely agree. And Donnie, thanks for mentioning that. I'm sorry, I meant to say I think we've covered Connor, but we should have finished your question, and thanks for the patience. Do you think he can make all pro? I don't think that I've seen enough to know if that he's got him in him yet.
Yeah, I think he was just asking about Pro Bowl, if I remember the question correctly. So I would say yes, he can definitely make a Pro Bowl because I think he's talented enough to do so, and you could probably see some ball production in terms of either interceptions or fumbles and things like that, because I think he's very good at doing both of those things. And I do think Pro Bowl is a possibility. I'm not going to go out and say that he would make it this year, but if he's at nickel this year and a nickel next year, that would be when I say 100% he can make a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that continuity makes a big difference, and he's all for it. But like he said, he's like, I just had to get used to it again, because it's a different vibe and it's a different attack. So thanks for the patience, Donnie. And sorry, we dropped that part. That was on me. Brent, nice to see you. Is Generic Prince getting all this run with the ones by default, or because he's developed enough now? I've heard a lot of differing opinions. I don't see anything markedly different in his game. He looks springy, but I thought he looked great last training camp too. And he wasn't able to put it together when the pads came on and when the hitting started. So I got to see that before I know. But I do think they're probably more wary of grinding on Clyde. And so it is probably partially because of the youth, in my opinion.
Here's what it is with the generic prison situation. You know what you have in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You don't know what you have in Deneric Prince. They are more than comfortable trotting Clyde out there and saying, all right, you're going to be the backup, or in case of emergency, we know you can handle the playbook. We've seen you do it for the last 4 years. We know that. This guy, who, again, was having a good camp last year, didn't really put it together when we wanted him to, had to start Lamichael P. Ryan at points last year when you needed somebody. So we are going to try to do what we can to put him in the best situation to develop this year. We will find out everything we need to know about Deneric Prince in the preseason. That will be when you know, because right now, everything's out the window. Do not believe things coming out of training camp about day 3 undrafted free agent running backs that are playing with the first team, especially in Kansas City, because they do this every single year.
Yeah, it's consistent. And hey, it's not going to change either. I'd love to say it would, but hey.
Yeah.
Welcome in a bunch of our regulars and our members. Nice to see you, James, and everybody else. Appreciate you guys coming in. Christo had a question here. What's more likely, Pacheco 1,000 yards or McDuffie 3 picks?
I love this question.
I know what I want to say.
I love this question. I know what I'm going to say, because now that he's on the outside, Trent McDuffie getting 3 picks is going to happen this year. I do think both are very, very likely, though.
I'm glad you took it, because I wasn't ready to. I'm going to go Pacheco. I love Trent, but I'm not ready to make that leap. I hope you're right. I absolutely hope that you're right. That's going to be awesome. Minotaur, thanks for the support again in the form of super chat this time. Appreciate you, buddy.
Minotaur.
Do you think the number 4 overall player in the NFL is going to try and break passing records to spite the players ranking him so low? I have to think that this is like, I mean, how many times does he get spurned before he's like, just F it, let's go? Like, and now he's got the tools to do that. You want to sit on him? You want to wait on him? Fine. We'll blow past you now. Like, I'm here for scorched earth. What do you think he does?
So I was listening to the Mina Kimes show today with new ESPN talking head, Ben Solak. Congratulations, Ben. And he is not buying the Chiefs offense this year, which I thought was very surprising, considering last year we saw the Chiefs offense at its lowest. And we get to see a whole yeah, it is. He's very contrarian. He's like, everyone's going this way, I'm going to go that way because it's safer. And I respect it. I do. I respect Ben Solak. But Patrick Mahomes, after the last couple of seasons of everyone just not respecting the deep game, is going to take it personally. And we just got a little sprinkle on top of, oh, I'm the 4th best player in the NFL after back-to-back Super Bowl MVPs, back-to-back Super Bowls, MVP 2 years ago. Okay. All right. Okay. We'll see. Let's see.
It's all right here. It is all right here, and I am here for it. I mean,
it's good to know.
It's like House of the Dragon. He's just gonna light it all up. I'm ready. Dang. Dez, nice to see you, buddy. What DT prospects will you be watching for KC in college football? Have you gotten to DTs yet?
I've watched a few of them. So for me, you guys, if you don't know, I now work at the Draft Network as well. And since I'm a part-time employee, I am assigned players every week. So I don't get to pick and choose the players that I've watched. I actually think that this week I'm watching the first quote-unquote interior defensive lineman that I've gotten to. But I do know that I'll get to far more. I haven't seen a ton of like interior guys, but I do know there's one out of Michigan, because actually a couple out of Michigan. Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham are both interior defensive linemen that are going to go on the 1st and 2nd round, most likely. And both of them would be fantastic players in Kansas City.
Yeah. Watch. It's 5-5 for Graham, right?
I believe, 55, for Graham. And I can't remember Grant. I think 97, if I'm not mistaken, but I'd have to look it up.
There's Cross from Notre Dame. I had notes on him. I have Graham. He was the first person I thought of as well. There's this like line of Texas linemen. If you're burnt by Coburn, don't watch. I get it, but I think Byron Murphy's a different player. Collins and the kid that wears, is it Solomon that wears 88? Those are two guys. I think Solomon's more of an edge, though. I'd be watching them. I'm just looking down my list here. The Oklahoma kid, Sears. I think he got hurt last year. I'm not sure. But I would give him a look. Parker from Washington. And then Hill was the guy that rotated in. I don't think he played a ton of snaps also. I think was he a freshman? No, he was a sophomore. But I mean, there's so much talent at LSU's defensive line. Like they could have hidden somebody that's going to have to, we'll see the light of day and now we'll be amazed, that kind of thing. So
the other big name is
just
Deion Walker, right? Right there, Donnie's right.
Oh.
He's on the money there. Deion Walker is the other big name to look out for.
Kentucky.
Yeah,
yep. I totally spaced on him. Sorry. I'm not in college football mode yet, folks. Yeah, you ain't kidding. Good God. This is why Dan's in charge now that TDN and he are on the roll. Dan will tell me what to watch going forward. It'll be great.
Appreciate you, Des.
Yeah, always, Des. Appreciate you very much. Another one of our members, folks. Bradley, nice to see you. I have to admit, I was one of the fans calling for Spag's job seasons ago. I admit I was very wrong. Is there any takes that you've had that you regret? Sure. I'm still 1,000% behind Bailey Zappi. I think he can play in this league. I don't know who the hell for. It's got to be the right system. But I do regret putting
ridiculous.
Matt Corral. I know.
Absolutely ridiculous.
But I had Matt Corral higher than him in that class, and I definitely regret that. So that's probably my biggest miss the last few years. You?
There's a lot of takes that I've had. I don't know if I regret anything. You learn from everything. It's never a zero-sum game in terms of you put something out there that you believe and you don't get something back. You always learn something from them. So I don't necessarily think that I regret making anything, but I'll tell you that I'm still waiting for Hakeem Butler because I still think he can play. I think Hakeem Butler can play in the league.
He's your Bailey Zappi.
He's my Bailey Zappi. I won't lie. Just get him in Kansas City, man.
They're going to look great in the CFL together.
Oh, they're going to look so good. They're going to throw. I mean, he was CFL Player of the Year, or not CFL, but UFL Player of the Year last year. Hakeem Butler can play.
I'll tell you this too, just as a regret between us because we're fam here, folks. I was a little too harsh on Darwin Thompson back in the day, so I do regret that. Not that I was wrong, but I went about it in a way that I wouldn't repeat again. So, yeah, I'll bring that true. And I might have underestimated George Karlaftis. There you go.
No, I think both of us did. Not both of us.
If he takes a step forward now, he will be well past my expectations for him. So,
absolutely,
kudos to him. Maestro, to me, at least 5 Chiefs players got robbed in the top 100 in McDuffie, Humphrey, Trey Smith, Joe Thuney, and Snead. I agree with you on all of them. I wouldn't put Snead as a Chief, but I do agree with that. And I would argue, too, that I would probably put Justin Reed in the top 100 as well. I don't think I'd put him above 80, but I think he deserves to be in there, right?
Yes, he absolutely does. And it's tough to – I mean, I understand the Snead stuff because he was a Chief last year, so yes and no. But at the end of the day, this is why these lists don't matter to us. But I will promise you that Patrick Mahomes cares about being the 4th best player in the NFL, and that Tyreek Hill was labeled the #1 player, and there was also a running back above him. Things are going to be very fun for Patrick this year.
Yeah, I mean, could it get better than this? Because I'm not so sure. Like, if you want to see just all gas, no brakes, like, I am convinced that this is one of the ways to trigger that kind of thing. So,
oh yeah.
Oh man. Moving on. Napoleon, Thank you. Tempers are hot. I was relating to today, Rashee Rice and Drew Tranquil got into it. I don't know if anybody connected. Somebody said there was punches thrown. From the video I saw, there wasn't, but like it was full on both teams trying to break those two guys apart. Rashee was pissed about something, threw something at somebody and whatever. Mahomes had to go drag Tranquil out of the pile. And that's a sign when you won't listen to jack shit else except your quarterback. That meant they are fired up, and I'm happy to see it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You love the fire. There's a reason that Andy Reid doesn't do the joint practices. They get enough fire from their own players. Like they do not need the outside distraction that is joint practices at times that seemingly only are used for fire and to create conflict. The Chiefs don't need that. They know how to prepare for a season, and Andy Reid gets them ready every single year because they know what they're doing.
And it's not that ridiculous Tom Brady, like, they all think we can't do it stuff. Like it's I think more functional, you know. Sorry, I'm channeling Nikki Glazer now. I can't get her Gronkowski impression out of my head from that show.
That was one of the funnier
that's
parts
really
of
the
that
basis.
show.
Right? I mean, oh my God. That was awesome. But yeah, that's the thing is like, and especially as they're heading right into preseason game number 1, I want to see that fire. And I don't know that it'll be over tomorrow, but that's okay. Tranquil's got some damn edge this year, and I like that because I think he came in and did what he had to last year, and he's like, I'm part of a new team. I'm not going to ruffle all the feathers, but now he's pushing dudes. He's pushing dudes to be better, and I think that's a heck of a role. The only person who's probably happier about it than me is Spags. So
yeah,
we'll just roll. This one's for you. Could you see us picking up a free agent corner if no one steps up to number 2, or Spags just challenging someone to step up like Gilmore or Howard?
So I think they're pretty comfortable with the players that they have. There's a reason that they did not bring somebody else in and they traded away L'Jarius Sneed. You've got 2 guys with starting experience. You have another guy you just drafted. You have experience from multiple years of backups. I think that they are comfortable and they're really at the point in their, I guess, defensive shift that they are 100% bought into the system that they're doing and can execute it without needing a Howard or a Gilmore, and it'll be cheaper. So no, I don't think they're going to. And we've talked about this. I think if anything, they're going to trade somebody away. I think that they are that comfortable with their cornerback room.
I like it. And I'll tell you, I've been happy to see until the whole hammy thing that Kelvin Joseph's been stepping up, getting a little bit of run. I'm a little surprised on Taylor. I didn't expect them to give Taylor reps with ones. I'm a little concerned about Haddon. I thought he'd be sticking his face in there in the competition, but I think there's probably an acceptable adjustment periods there. So don't rule him out either. So I do think we'll see some changes after preseason game number 1 and certainly after 2.
Agreed.
What else we got here? Caroline, what did you have? So many players got robbed. I'm really interested in tight ends. Irwin and Wiley. Irvin. And the new line because of Norzad and Hansen. Yes. A lot of guys are not getting the attention they deserve. Wiley had a good day and then he kind of backed off a little bit. And I don't know if that's just because people want to see big pass plays and they're not watching the blocking, but I think Wiley in particular, I think is a little underrated because he's such a well-rounded prospect that he might not be getting all the flair plays. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not really being scripted up for him. They're still trying to showcase. I even Noah Gray, who had a great catch the other day. The guys that are getting the most run right now are the guys that you're trying to prepare for the season. You want to see them. Yes, it'd be great if some of the younger players get their reps and they showcase what they can do. But at the end of the day, what they're trying to do right now is get the team geared up, ready to go. It's entering the last week of training camp in St. Joe. Am I wrong about that? So they want to like get ready to go.
Yeah, I believe there's 3 practices next week, and that's it.
Okay, yeah,
and then they're back to Kansas City. So yeah, I'm still trying to get there. We're going to figure it out. MJ, so Butker year when he was missing because of his ankle. That was my theory. When your plant foot's messed up, I mean, it's easy to get off. So
it was
I'm going to choke it up to until I hear otherwise.
it was also the problem with the holds. Remember, he had two things that year:
Yeah.
holds and his ankle.
Yeah.
And then next year they were both fixed. And look at that. Like, and I'm going to say it for you guys all again. I don't care about missed extra points. Don't care.
Sorry, we're having some lightning here, so you can take over if you like, but I'll try to give it a shot if you don't.
As long as you're good to go, be good. You're good to go.
Okay.
I don't want you to die.
Nice to see you, Will. Almost 3 years in the memberships. We appreciate you. You keep us running. And it very much is thanks to you guys that we're able to do some cool things. And we have some new cool things coming for you this year. I hope you guys have liked the different the breakdown segments I've been doing for Tuesdays. I'm going to take that piece back for me this year. And I think that's probably going to help out. And if you guys like the pacing or whatever, give me some feedback in the comments so that I know either what you would like to see or what you're liking that you're seeing. Other than Patrick, who's going to benefit the most from the additions of Hollywood and Xavier to the offense? What do you think?
The answer is Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, because they are going to create so much space underneath. Again, if you can actually threaten a defense deep with big plays early in the season, they have to respect it. So you have to get back there really quickly. It's going to open up the verticality of the offense right in the middle of the field where Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce do the most of their damage. So those are the two guys that are going to there's one more for you. I'll let you take one more player because there's one other obvious answer to this question.
Sorry, you broke up there for me. Go ahead.
So I was just saying there's one other obvious answer to this question that you can take.
Oh, Andy? Yeah, I would probably go Andy. Who else am I thinking?
I would say Pacheco, given the lighter boxes.
See, you teed me up, and I totally screwed the pooch there. Yeah, I mean, just wait. By week 3, and they've hit like 5 50-yarders. Like all of a sudden, you're going to see 2 high safeties. You're going to see some cover 4 and some rotation in the back, and all of a sudden, there ain't going to be nobody left in the box. So Pacheco, get on your horse and ride. Let's go. That's what it's going to be. Sorry, I totally blew that one.
Oh, you're good. Oh, good.
Kurt, nice to see you. I am not comfortable with Deneric Prince at CHs 2 and 3. Do you call McKinnon or someone else? I think they've probably already called McKinnon. So I think you start looking around on the pile. I think you're watching for who gets cut. I think you're maybe looking at a trade. We'll give you a young corner if you got a tailback that might be able to put some reps in for us. What do you think?
That's all I got. There's not much else you can do right now. Okay. Hopefully you get someone because it's not looking great.
I like Bradley's concept here. Does Andy use a 4 tight end set on goal line plays this year with a tight end room depth? Would you like to see it? Do you think he will?
I think that he might. I think that'd be a lot of fun. You got a couple of different things. I don't know if he has the guts to do it in the red zone, but I think he could. And it should be something we see at least once this year.
I would love to. Good Lord. Handeman, nice to see you. Welcome back. Another one of our members. What are your thoughts on Steele making the roster? Could he play a fullback position, or do they set aside red zone package for him? I think with his size, he could be a great in the latter. I didn't put him on the 53 in my pre-camp list. Right now, I'm leaning toward wanting him on there, partially because of what we just said about there isn't that much snap in the running back room. But if LRC is not going to be a dynamic threat out of the backfield, then I want Steele as an option. Where are you at?
Yeah, I think right now you have to assume that the way the running back room is shaking out, they might only keep 3 of them. But if you want 4, it's Steele because he offers short yardage, pass protection, and he can still be on the field on third downs. That's something you don't necessarily always have with anybody else. So I think he offers far more on third down than Deneric Prince does, to be very honest with you.
I concur. And Donnie wants to believe, so we're on track. Alex, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Nice to see you. How you liking NCAA 25, Dan? I'm pretending to win natties for my Iowa Hawkeyes. Nice. It's hard being an Iowa fan.
I could do a lot with this question, Alex, but I appreciate you giving me a super chat to ask me about NCAA 25 because that's awesome. I'm doing a really great job right now. I'm in my second year at Western Michigan. I am in the national championship game against Michigan, which I have yet to play. I also just won Coach of the Year, undefeated so far. So we're having a good time. We're going to see how this game against Michigan shakes out, but I have a good feeling about it. I hope you're enjoying it. I know it's hard with Iowa.
You're the man. You are the man with Western Michigan. That's awesome. Alex, let us know how your progress goes. I'm interested. Nice to see you. Minotaur, as always, could have sworn Dan was going to go with Cornell, pal. You know, it was on the table. It was.
I don't regret that take. Still don't.
There you go.
Still don't regret it.
Bradley, I love the show. I have to admit, I was one of the people calling for like, oh, I already got this one. Sorry. But hey, appreciate you and appreciate your thoughts on the show, buddy. Caroline's got a theme, I think, today. I have a doc with all the available DTs in the draft and free agency. I share it with Ryan. I can share it with you too, Dan. You shared it with me, and I obviously have been too busy to look at it. I very much apologize. I will get with you because I need to talk to you this week. So I will look at it before I do that. So
appreciate it, Caroline.
Hendeman, to be fair, his baby is adorable, and he seems like the sweetest dad. He ain't talking about me, bro.
I don't think that was about me either. I think that was about Jamar Chase.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm calling it you. Joe, hi, nice to see you. Do you think that Andy and Tope will show much in the kick returns, or are they completely vanilla in the preseason? I think it's all vanilla. They're not going to do any tricks. They're not going to do anything to push or try to recover the ball. It's going to be super, super mellow.
Sit there with your ice cream.
You don't disagree.
And enjoy it. You will enjoy your vanilla ice cream.
Right. Jeff, with Gruden in camp, can some creative Chief fan put together a meme? It begins with Gruden and ends with Max Crosby, and watch the Raider fans blow a gasket. Hey, if you're out there, this isn't a terrible idea.
Do it. That'd be
gaslight
funny.
them.
I would share it. I'd share it.
I will too. Hawkeye 70s, let's go CFL. I grew up with them, and Warren Moon beat everyone. When Moon retired with the Chiefs became my team. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that. I too have watched CFL through my life. And oh man, I got a buddy that works with the BC Lions, and it's still an interesting game. The difference in the NFL are plentiful, but it's cool. Is Petty Mahomes ever defeated, John Smith?
We're gonna find out.
So. No, he's like John Wick. It is what it is. Don't do it. Doug, does anybody tell the reason for covering on their helmets? Yeah, it's just to reduce the cause of CTE. CTE, they believe, is caused by a lot of smaller repetitive hits. It's not like the giant concussions where you get knocked out or anything. So that padding actually dulls the day-to-day contact helmet to helmet that you sometimes get. I think this is what, the third season with him, Dan?
I believe so, yeah. And they're all doing it this time around. They've had options earlier in the last 2 years, and not everybody did it. But this is the first year I've seen just about everybody wear them.
Yeah. And I think they feel like they're getting enough scientific data to say that they're reducing some concussions, and they're going to give it a shot. So, Hanneman, speaking of Rasheed, is it just me, or is he looking even better this offseason? I mean, he had a rough offseason. He made some mistakes that are going to live with him for a while. I think he kind of channeled it into getting ready for the year. I agree. I think he looks better. Do you?
It also helps when you have a full year of NFL under your belt. Rookies, it's tough coming into Andy Reid's offense and saying, hey, you're going to learn this stuff that you've never done before in your entire career. And, you're also going to do it as the focal point of the offense because, Travis Kelce's hurt. He's gotten hurt for the first time in his NFL career outside of his rookie season. And all of our other wide receivers are no good. So here, have fun with that. I would say he's probably in a better football space this year than he was last year.
Fair enough. And Hanneman, I just saw this one too. So you were talking about Jamar. Good to know. I obviously had missed that. So info. Tim Grunhart pointed out that Giants players punching Amon St. Brown in a joint practice and said that's why Andy doesn't do them.
Sure.
Makes sense to me. I don't know why Tim Grunhart knows Andy Reid, but I mean, makes sense.
Don't think Tim does.
A lot of the bigger balls.
I think he's just,
Fair enough.
It's a good enough reason. So let's go ahead and throw it out there. I respect him, but I don't think he knows him.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Certainly makes sense though, because I've seen some brawls. Joint practices don't work. Doc, nice to see you. Sorry you're late, but when you get a chance to take a nap, you gotta do it. Enjoy your life, man. Appreciate you. Folks, we are brought to you tonight, sponsored by BetUS. Check them out if you want to get into the action. We appreciate them. We're going to wrap it up here with Doug. Thank you, everyone, for your super chats tonight, and for all of you members. It's nice to see you. I know we're rounding into football shape here. Let's get after it. We are going to be live, or at least I'm going to be live after the preseason game number 1. So, and then we're going to be back into our normal process. Okay, just making sure. Don't want to speak for you. It's the last few days of summer, man. You got to spend it with your family when you can. But we'll end it with Doug. Make sure you like and sub and hit the bell. Check us out on audio as well. And shout out to Autograph. If you guys want to get signed up with there, there's a link in our description that helps us. It's a free app for you guys, and it does make it easier just to get our content as it comes out, along with a lot of the other quality creators, including the Chiefs main page, Cole, all the guys that you want to see. So check that out. Can anyone tell me the reason that they have red covers over their helmets? But I mean, the red. But I would ask, and I didn't read it until just now, so that's my fault. But I would ask the same question, like, why not the gold or the white? Like, make it cooler, right? Like, why choose your darkest color to put over your helmet?
I mean, that was just a decision that they made, I guess. Because I mean, the Colts wear the blue ones that are the darker as well. They don't wear white, and I don't know, just they like the red. I guess it's just more of a decision that they either collectively made or that maybe it was made for them. Who knows?
Yeah, fair enough. Appreciate you, Doug. And sorry I didn't read that better. So as a bonus question here, guys, Dan, thanks, Graphic 13, is 6,000 yards on the table?
No, 6,000 yards is not on the table. I don't know when that will be. Maybe if they just get rid of maybe if they get the 18-game season and they just stop running the football altogether, then yeah, I would say 6,000 yards on the table. But until game 18 comes into play, it's not there yet. And it would be, even with 18 games, be very tough to reach 6,000 passing yards.
I agree. But you know what, Patrick? Give it a shot. Let's go. I'm looking forward to it, you guys. Thanks for spending your Monday with us. We got football at the end of this week. Get ready. Make sure you like, sub, hit the bell. Be with us. Dan, anything coming out, dropping this week for you?
Going to do another one of our Wednesday videos where we're covering things that happened during the training camp week. They have been more difficult for me to do than my film room stuff because it's a little bit different than my normal everyday, every week stuff. So I appreciate you guys checking them out. We're trying some different things and, sharpening up some skills that I don't use all the time. So if you guys have any ideas that you want to see for Wednesday, don't be afraid to shout me out on Twitter or whatnot. So we can do that for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we're going to keep it rolling. We will keep trying new things. It's a new season. We're ready to go. Hope you guys are too. Thanks for being with us tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.